Alright, this is my third time recording this intro, and I'm going to stick with this one. I just want to try to keep it short, because I don't feel like rambling at the beginning of the video and losing all y'all's attention. So, y'all join me in my 05 Corolla. Month and a half after Poverty Tour. I've been really lazy with editing. I hate editing, so apologies. But I do want to get at least these videos out, and I have a bunch of new fun things planned. I bought a lot of really cool parts for the Tercel. I'm exhausted. You can see my eye bags from here. But fun things are coming. This video is going to be recapping the last 3 weeks that I spent on Poverty Tour. Because, you know, Poverty Tour was, like, what, 7-8 days. But I was out for 28. So, this is the video about how I was stranded in Idaho for 3 weeks. I ran out of money, and the car kept breaking down. It was going to be a really tech-heavy video. I had to do a lot to get that car home. But I think it should be interesting. I have a lot of editing to do, a lot of footage to cut out. My videoing was a mess because the whole intention was to spend like 2 or 3 days in Idaho and then leave, and then we spent 3 weeks there, and I was trying to get money and just fix the car, keep it going, and get home. Like, we needed to get home because family things. So I didn't really record. I didn't really take too much time on recording stuff. I spent the majority of the time just trying to make things happen so we could get home. So, at the very least, everything's in the right format, unlike last video where half of it was vertical. But, yeah, there's going to be a lot of working on the car, not a whole lot of cool things, and not a whole lot got recorded, but I figured I'd let y'all finish the saga, and also throw a shout out to Davis Machine LLC in Idaho, who saved our fucking ass. I'm gonna have to censor myself. Who saved our flippin' behinds. They're just amazing people, really helped us out, so I wanted to give a little shout out to them. And, yeah, so now y'all get to see the video. I've been talking way too long again, Jesus Christ. Okay, cue video. I just finished saying cue video and then remembered I had to do a voiceover part. So I'm going to have a couple images in here, in this part, where you see a few things that I did that I took pictures of but didn't take videos of because I'm an idiot. And that is specifically that once we got to Idaho, pretty much first thing I did was wash the car, and then that's, I think, these pictures now. And then now we can ensue the calamity. Hey y'all, so I'm here in O'Reilly's parking lot here in Idaho, and I've been working on the car for probably 2 or 3 hours now, and I realized, oh yeah, that's right, I have a YouTube channel. So carburetor, not on car, because so I actually bathed the car. It's very white now. And now you can see all the really shitty chips and shit. That sucks, but, you know, whatever. That's not the point. The point is, I did things. So the first thing I did was I actually rerouted the wiring for the AC idle up to this random vacuum switching valve, which is now going to go into the idle up on that. Cool and all. Actually, I made myself a little vacuum diagram so I could keep up with that. The car stopped really idling after I watched it. So, yeah, that's great. As you can see, here's my little diagram. Very artistic. Not really. And then, of course, here we have my electrical diagram book. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with my idle up solenoid. Or, sorry, my idle solenoid. Well, it turns out it's not an idle solenoid. It's fuel cut solenoid. There's 2 of them for some fucking reason. And having it plugged in apparently doesn't help, question mark? I don't even know at this point. It seemed like it helped a lot when I first plugged it in, but I don't know. It's weird shit. But what I did was I used a vacuum diagram from the 3TC engine, which is what that carburetor's for, and a vacuum diagram for the 3A engine, which is this one, and I spliced them together without any of that extra shit. So these 2, if I read it correctly, I could still be very well wrong. I am wrong. Yeah. That should be there. And that should be there. Alright, so these 2 supposedly go to the distributor over there. They do, I think. And then this one also goes to the distributor. Now this is the main vacuum advance. I don't really know what these are for, but I have them into the port on the 3TC carburetor where they're supposed to be. And I have them teed together to do that. So, boom, right there. Again, you saw the diagram. All that. And then I have this going to another vacuum port on the carburetor, which hopefully will activate the AC idle up, question mark? I don't fucking know at this point, man. I also went ahead and replaced the hose for the return. Figured maybe that was collapsed. It wasn't, but I replaced it anyway. So that's all sorted now. I still have these plugged up. All of this is all plugged up because I just really don't know when that's supposed to activate, if any of it even works. I don't know. There's a lot about this car I don't know because I'm not a fucking Toyota mechanic. I'm a shade tree mechanic that just so happens to somehow be certified. I don't know how either, guys. Don't question it. I just have it. I guess you can get it out of Cracker Jack boxes these days, but regardless, I have this already tacking down. When I pulled the carburetor off of this base plate, and I did note a vacuum leak, pretty solid one over here when I was spraying around with my ether while it was running. And when I pulled it off, I saw all of this was wet. So I think what happened was when I washed the car off, a bunch of water came in through here and soaked through that gasket and failed it. So I'm making a new one. And I'm going to show y'all how I like to make gaskets, because I think it's really easy. A lot of times when you're making a gasket, you know, you'll end up finding yourself in a situation where you can't really line it up right, or your knife's not sharp enough and everything. So let me show you how I like to make gaskets. Let me get my lovely assistant real quick. Hey, Amod. Can you hold the camera for me? Thank you, my lovely assistant. So, gasket here. Ball peen hammer. You line it up. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. You're gonna start making the pop sounds. Now, if any of you remember back in your elementary school days, when your teachers would have you go ahead and take a piece of paper and you'd scribble all over it against something hard, and it would show the shape through the other side. This is the same concept except with a hammer and a gasket. And just like that, you have a perfect gasket. No cutting, no extra bullshit. Gasket. Now, this might have already been a technique, but I'm pretty proud to say I didn't learn it from anyone. I came up with this shit myself, and I'm proud of that. And it is the easiest way I've found to make gaskets against a metal surface. Now, obviously, don't do it against a plastic surface, and you know, don't beat too hard on it, because otherwise you'll really mar up your metal. But just some light taps with a ball peen. Ball peen's perfect for getting these holes, and then you just get the hard end and tap around it for there. And of course, I'm not even going to bother with that, because that actually broke through. So now I'll take my knife, cut that. Cut that. Gasket. So now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall all this, but that's really all I wanted to show y'all. Say goodbye and thank you to our lovely assistant. And let me go ahead and glue the shit out of this and tap it on, because I just don't trust this not machine surface to actually seal. So yeah, let me do that and then I'll get back to y'all. Well, hey again, y'all. So here we are. Carburetor's reinstalled. Went ahead and I torqued those down nice and tight, and you can see I'm just splooging out everywhere. with the gasket sealing. I don't know what you were thinking about. But obviously, you know, put it on both sides, splooge it on in there. I mean, it's already pretty well tacked. That stuff really don't take long to dry. I'm probably going to give it another 30-40 minutes. Just keep cleaning up around here. As you can see, I have a new air filter adapter, some NOS that I'm about to kill. Oh yeah! And now we have a new air filter adapter. Bloop. So let me make that up real quick, get it attached, and then I can't afford it right now. I'd really like to get some clear coat over that signature. That's very special to me. But yeah, as you can see, I've got all my vacuum reattached kind of where it should be, according to the 2 diagrams that I pieced together incorrectly. As you can see, I've also got the bowl vent actually hooked up to the charcoal canister, which I don't know if that's actually going to do anything, but it's connected. And then, oh yeah, there's my spring down there. I should attach that. We'll get, you don't want to look at. So that's going to go right there to the throttle blade right over there. Just kind of get a little bit more pedal feedback and make sure it actually returns, because I was having some issues with it kind of still sticking a little bit. It feels like my starter is a little unhappy with me. It's been clicking a lot more recently, probably because I've been abusing the shit out of it recently. It was already a Napa starter, which Napa's really fallen down in recent years. At least in terms of the parts I've gotten from them. Every part I've gotten from them has been shit recently. They used to be really good. I don't know what happened, but outside of just shit talking Napa. Oh yeah, I discovered this. It's pretty grody in there. Pretty gross. Not necessarily the color you want to have come out of your coolant reservoir, especially when I only put water in it. But we'll get to that when we get to that, you know. I might flush that out before we go to current plan is Hurricane Harbor in Phoenix with her friend this weekend. But that can only be done if I fix my gas mileage and do a metric fuck ton of Instacart orders, which this was supposed to be half an hour to an hour, and well, here we are 4 hours later. But I think I got just about everything sorted, so I'm just gonna keep cleaning up, make sure everything's tightened down, make a new adapter, because this one's just pretty well done. It doesn't really do much anymore. It's mostly just tape. And yeah, I'll get back to y'all once that's made and then that's tacked up enough where I feel comfortable trying to drive it around. So yeah, I'll get back to you. Wowza, I did a really bad job at all of this. Okay, so what you last saw was me dealing with the carburetor. And after everything that I did there, it still didn't run very well, and it took me another good long while to get it to run right. But eventually I did not get it to really run right. It still ran like shit and was getting really bad gas mileage. But on top of that, which I also failed to mention, I started hearing a clunkety clunk, and it was like a really bad clunkety clunk. And I was checking it out, and I was looking around, and I couldn't really find the source. And I was thinking, okay, because I lifted the car up and I stuck my breaker or my pry bar up underneath the tire, and I shook it around, and I'm hearing the clunk, and I'm watching the strut move, and I'm thinking, okay, it's strut mount. So cue in the 50 minutes of footage I have of me trying to replace that strut mount. I'm going to condense that a lot because I didn't explain very much at all. But after I did all the strut mount shit and spent, I think, probably 3 or 4 hours nearly taking my face and hands off with that spring, that wasn't it. And I was still hearing it, and it was honestly kind of worse. So I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be the ball joint. So I buy a ball joint, still not really diagnosing it. And I, again, failed to explain what ended up fixing it. I have a really, really bad video at an attempt doing it, but basically, it's a cartridge-style shock on these tercels, and the cartridge came loose. That was it. It took me 30 seconds to fix it once I found it. Channel locks, tighten it down, it was good to go. But it was a hellacious clunk and knock, and I was terrified I was going to lose a wheel, and I wasted a bunch of money. Don't parts cannon, don't be an idiot. And yeah, that's the explanation for like probably the next 15 minutes of footage. I think I'm going to condense it down a lot more than that though. Like it might only be like a 5 or 10 minute section, but yeah. Okay, back to the video. My fellow Americans and non-Americans, this is terrifying. But it seems to be my only option because that spring compressor is a death trap and that ratchet strap doesn't compress it enough. So what we have here is how I die. As you can see, I have a jack underneath of my spring, and the spring and the strut mount already installed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my hand inside of the spring and slowly lower the car. Let's go ahead and get a picture of my lovely assistant's face as she finds out this plan at the same time as y'all. For my next trick, my hand disappears. Here we go, let's see how bad this goes. Did you get that last part? Whoo. Okay. I think I'm gonna remove one of these, put it over here, and release that one, and restart. So, and zoom back in. Alrighty. So, yeah, that was really bad. That was sketchy. That was terrible. On top of the terrible video and even worse explanation. So, yeah, that method that was just shown is the one that ended up actually getting the thing together. I'm not even going to bother putting the rest of the video because it doesn't even show me getting it on. I guess we gave up on recording and then I finally got it on and together and we dipped. The next little clip you're going to see is going to be the one of the sound it was making. Still, even after doing a strut mount, because it didn't need a strut mount. And then after that is when I bought the ball joint, but I didn't even put it on when I finally decided to just actually diagnose the damn thing. And yeah, that was when I figured out that it was the strut cartridge being loose. So after that is a short little video of me very poorly explaining what was going on. But you can see that kind of really thin little nut that holds the whole cartridge down. You can see it's elevated like 1/4 inch. It was about 1/2 inch out, and it was just everywhere. Like, you could grab it and you could twist the damn thing like a broken knee. So, yeah. But that's what fixed it. There you go. That's the end of this voiceover stuff until the next very poorly explained video, which I think comes immediately after. So, wow, whatever. So, seeming like my sound is actually the strut itself, because I get up underneath it, right here, just that, you can actually, well, you were able to watch and listen to it, moving right there. Whole strut itself, I misdiagnosed it, because I didn't actually take the time to diagnose it. Shoot, it's already better just in a couple of movements I did. But we're just going to twist that down because, as you can see, it's showing pretty good. So, let's do that. Well, hello everybody. You joined me here in a Walmart parking lot with an aluminum block, a hole saw, and a hacksaw. This shall be retiring the adapter that I made back in Moab, as it just keeps leaking. I cannot get the damn thing to seal for shit. I mean, I've gooped it, I've coated it, I've done everything I could think of to try to get that shit to seal, and it just wouldn't. So I gave up. I'm making a new one. This time, ideally, the right way, with a hole saw and a hacksaw and an aluminum block. Now, this is a lot heavier than I thought it would be, honestly. And it's also a lot bigger than it should be. I took the measurements. Should be about 3 inches by 5 inches by 2 inches. We have 4 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches. So I have a little bit to cut off. But this is just a large piece of aluminum square. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to make something out of this. So, yeah. Now, it doesn't look like it's particularly the hardest, which is both good and bad. I mean, it's already kind of like chipped here and there. Not too worried about that, honestly. I was actually looking for something that'd be fairly easy to cut through, so guess I have that now. Don't mind the living space. You'd think that we live out of the car or something right now. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is, so Poverty Tour ended the 5th, I want to say? About 2 weeks ago. Obviously, I'm still in Idaho, because I can't afford to go home. I think I mentioned that. I might not have mentioned that I ran out of money. I ran out of money. That's why we're still here. So, yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. 2 extra blades on a premium Amazon hacksaw. But I want to make sure this actually has any potential to cut. 1 second. Well, I nicked it with a single pull across, so it'll probably cut. This is gonna really suck though. I don't particularly want to pull the old adapter off yet, actually. Mostly because if I pull the old adapter off, then I won't be able to leave when somebody eventually comes over here and says, hey, you can't work on your car in the Walmart parking lot. And then I have the potential of getting towed, and then that's just a whole thing I don't want to deal with. So, we're not going to deal with that. And the way that we're not going to deal with that is by leaving it on. So it does leave a little bit to be desired in terms of, you know, ability to work on it, but what can you do? I don't even think I have the right size hole saw, to be completely honest. I got a 2.5 inch, and after further thinking about it, you know, 2.5 inches is quite a bit, actually. And I think that these are closer to 1.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take a shit in the Walmart, and then I'm going to come back out here and dig into this a little deeper. Alright y'all, you joined me back in the Walmart parking lot. Bathroom was full, so I couldn't take my shit. And I just started mocking up the rough design. Got all the measurements kind of traced out onto my block. And I have begun the very slow, painful process that will be cutting this shape out. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the main shape for now, and then we'll see where we get. So yeah, it's hot. I'm suffering and sweating and dying. Thankfully I've got plenty of water. But yeah, I'll let you know when I actually make some progress on this. Wowza. Again. It's been like 5 minutes real time since the last one of these I had to do. Jesus Christ. Okay, so no explanation, no context. Again, just straight into bandsaw video. So, here's what happened. I spent probably about 3 hours trying to process that block into anything usable. And I was doing a lot. You know, I'm sitting there with the saw in the sun in a Walmart parking lot, sawing away, getting strange looks from people, and then it doesn't do it. And then I'm taking the whole saw on my poor little 12-year-old DeWalt drill, wireless, mind you, a little battery-operated guy, 20 volt. And yeah, still not really doing it. I actually burned up my drill pretty good. It literally started smoking after like 10 minutes of trying to use a hole saw through apparently industrial grade aluminum. So I called up a couple machine shops, and that's when I found Davis Machine LLC. They were super nice, letting me use their shop, and we worked out a pretty solid deal, and it was great. I cannot recommend them enough. Like, they really saved our asses. But yeah, so the rest of the footage of me working it is going to be there, and I didn't really record a whole lot there, mostly for their privacy, so I don't have a whole lot of footage of actually processing the block down, but I spent about 2 days there at that shop, and we got it done. So let me cue in the rest of that footage now. Alright, so here's what we got so far. As you can see, I've got the backs cut out. That there. Big thank you to Davis Machine LLC here in Iowa, or Idaho, sorry, not Iowa. Because they're really saving my ass letting me use their shop here. This is hot. I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit before I try to pick it up with my bare hands. Been using the welding gloves, and even through those I've been feeling it get toasty. My face and neck and shrapnel, I don't know how well it's visible, or if it even is visible at all. All I know is I feel it, and yeah, the metal splinter is gonna go crazy tonight. But yeah, got a little bit of footage of them cutting things, and god damn, that fucker's still hot. Okay, one sec. You know, I pretty often forget that I'm actually, you know, trying to record this shit. Those threads pulled out a while ago, and I've just been threading into the last, you know, couple left in them, but they gave up too. So right now what I'm doing is I went here to AutoZone and used my $20 rewards and $10 to go ahead and get a thread chaser set, or sorry, not a thread chaser set, a helicoil set. And I like these guys because they do pretty good. I had just enough turn left in that drill to pull the last little coal through. Get those little threads out, bring it up. Now what I'm doing is I'm just taking this thread. One moment. Sorry. No, what I'm doing is I'm just taking this thread tap here, and what you do is you put it in there. And I already had to do it on that one there and that one there, I believe. Just kept having these threads pull out because it's just really bad aluminum casting on this intake. And I'm just gonna run this down. Obviously I don't have parts to do it with, so I'm just doing it with a wrench, and just gonna carefully try to keep it as straight as possible, because obviously it won't work if they're all lopsided and shit. I'm just turning this guy in and putting new threads in it, and then what'll happen is we'll take the insert over here. I'm assuming that I'm just gonna assume that this section of the video is for anyone who has never done this before. Take this guy and you thread the outer into it, and then you turn the inner in with that tool there, and I'll show you when I get to it, and then you have new threads of the original size. So let me get this run through, and then I'll put that part in. Alright, as you can see, we now have threads of this size in it, and as you're going down, I forgot to mention this, but as you're threading this in, as you would with any tap and die when you're cutting new threads, you kind of want to go back and forth a bunch, and just kind of like really clean those threads out, make sure they're nice and good. If I can find my wrench, I dropped it, and I put it in my pocket, and I don't remember which pocket I put it in. There it is. And then you'll just kind of go back and forth until it's nice and easy to thread into. If you've got lube, you know, use it, because there's one thing that we should, all us men should know, and you know, even the women, lubrication's pretty good. Getting insertion and penetration and all that. You want some, because it wants good lubrication. You want that. So don't drop your shit, and just kind of move it back and forth. I don't have any lube, but this old girl don't mind. She's done it enough, so it's all good. Yeah. And then you just thread this bad boy out, and now we actually pop in those inserts. So let me grab those. So at this point, you got your threads cut, Jesus. Now you get this. So what you do, you take this tool here, and you go ahead and you place this on the end of this tool. I'm gonna do that real quick just because I'm working with one hand. So there. And then you take that, wiggle it around, kind of start it in, and eventually you'll see it'll actually start to go down into those threads we cut. And you thread this bad mamma jamma in here. And this is the actual insert for the threads. We're just going to bring it on down, send her home. We're just going to turn her down until she bottoms out. Doesn't have to be particularly tight because we don't want to turn these threads out either. And you kind of shake, get a little bit more. Don't put too much torque on it because it really doesn't matter how torqued it is in there. Because it'll still make a nice firm hold. And I'll just sit that back there, that back in there. That's why I cut it the way I did, so that I could actually still use this as a holder. But then, voila, now you have new threads. Tie your original size bolt into, and they're nice and sturdy in there. But now, I'll go ahead and I can throw this shit back together. Just like that, in a matter of 5, maybe 10 minutes, you have brand new threads. And yeah, it only costs about 30 bucks. You can get them for cheaper off Amazon and such, but I don't have anywhere to really deliver to. I mean, I do, I just don't feel like waiting. So, there you go, threads. And I'm gonna throw this all back together. Now I gotta make new gaskets again. Y'all have seen me do that about 50 times now, I think, so I'll skip that part and I'll just snap to when this is all back together. Hey y'all, just wanted to show you why you're supposed to use fucking goggles. The moment I took them off, I flicked a piece in my eye, so that's great. It's a big one too. Let me get it. Man, now it's actually starting to look like a part. Originally, it was just a glorified block-off plate. Party streamers. Hey y'all, sorry about that. I keep forgetting I have a fucking channel I'm supposed to be recording to. That is what we call an late, and this is what we call a carburetor adapter. I think I probably stuck the video of us drilling this in before, or I'm gonna put it over what I'm talking right now. And if I'm putting it over what I'm talking right now, I'm gonna keep yapping. And if not, you're just gonna hear me yap for no reason. But regardless, here we are. Got some holes drilled. And also, the bottom part actually lines up for the most part. Yeah. I put this one just a little bit in, so I actually warbled it out a little extra. That way I could get a little bit of movement out of it. Lined the other two up perfectly. So now I just have to put in the studs up top. The only problem is, I'm a fucking idiot, and I forgot that these are actually supposed to be tapped so that I could put studs in. I didn't do that. So I drilled it oversized. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fucking reuse that helicoil set I bought yesterday and that I was showing you how to use down here, and I'm just gonna put a fucking helicoil up here and call it a day. That way I can still run my studs. And I mean, it's the same thing again. This is nice aluminum, so it's actually easier for me to tap. And yeah, this is really fucking easy. You just run the tap in, move it kind of back and forth as I go. I kind of just want to move it. I just cut myself one. Alright, what I want to do is kind of just move it back and forth. I stuck it on the engine for now, just to actually hold it in place. That way I'm not trying to hold it and wrestle the tap. Just gonna run that in. Yeah, that's an adapter of some sort. And just like that, the right size threads. So I can just take my stud, thread her in there. It doesn't look like it's exactly straight. There might be. Let's see. No, yeah, she's definitely got a little bit of lateral movement going that way. But that's alright. It ain't gotta be perfect, just gotta get us home. That might come in close. I'll have to see where that lands. I mean, if I gotta twist the carburetor a little bit. Oh no! My fuel toilet's not exactly perfect to diameters? I don't give a fuck, this thing just gotta get me home. So, I went ahead and I actually notched these out a little bit too and rounded the edges and shit. Yeah, man, put a little bit of prettiness in it, you know. Got a little taper there. I'm actually able to get this in. I was thinking I was just gonna have to drill a hole like right here for the PCV hookup, but it looks like I can actually avoid that. And yeah, that's just kind of, obviously this is how it'll look. Just set right up like that. I can't tell if that's any taller or not. It might actually be about the same. Let me make sure nothing runs into anything and I shut the hood. No, yeah, it sits about the same. That's perfect then. I mean, look at that. You'd think that I actually knew what I was doing. I don't, but you might think it. Well, y'all, there's one final shout out to Davis Machine LLC in St. Anthony, Idaho, just about 20 minutes north of Rexburg. They saved my ass. I left their shop as well as just helping me make this part here. This is our new carburetor adapter. Ain't she purty? Went ahead, I put studs up top, you know, drilled and tapped them. And then of course we bored holes, and you probably saw that little video of us boring the holes. Then of course we popped some bolts into there, and now this carb is attached better than it ever has been. I probably still gotta true that surface up. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done on it, but for now I just need to leave their parking lot. Everyone's already gone home. They shut down about an hour ago. Just glad that they could help me out. I'm not going to act like I did half of what they did for me, so if you ever need anything machined or made, you're in eastern Idaho, north of Rexburg, Davis Machine LLC. But yeah, I suppose now all that's left is to get on out of here. Wow, okay, again, yeah, no context, just skipping ahead. Alright, so, we left Davis Machine LLC after they saved our asses and pretty much just ate some dinner with her friend, said our final goodbyes after 3 weeks in Idaho. Well, 2.5. After too long in Idaho. And, ate some dinner and left. So next clip is going to include, the Tercel really struggling up a hill because we didn't look at the map, and apparently we ended up taking a route that put us through the national parks between Idaho and Wyoming, and we ended up climbing to another elevation of like 13,000 feet, which is higher than Poverty Tour, and the car hated it. But then after that it was really pretty, so I'm probably going to be including some pictures from that now. But yeah, that's where we are. Alright, y'all, you'll meet me at Love's in St. Joseph, Missouri. I haven't made a video in a minute because I just drove. It took me 2 days. One of those days I only drove for 3 hours. Cannonballed about 1,000 miles yesterday, about 1,100 miles. Wasn't bad, honestly. I just kept driving until I was tired and I stopped. Ooh, look at that. That's a beauty. Maybe we'll see that next year. But regardless, man, I'm gonna go brush my teeth, get some food in me, and keep it rolling. I think I put, I don't even know how many hours under me last night. Started driving at 7, stopped at 1, but there was chime sunshine, so technically 2. So 7 to 12, 5 plus 12, 17, plus 2, 19. Then I also stopped at 8 for an hour. And I let her drive for about an hour and a half. 17 hours yesterday. That's not bad. But yeah, I'm gonna go brush my teeth. Get ready to actually run some Instacarts because I'm out of money again. All I gotta say is, holy genocide. I mean, at least I'm protecting the air filter, but by golly. Well, y'all, I haven't left the Loves yet. I was investigating the clunkety you might be hearing. Can't quite tell if that's from the exhaust or the transmission. And that there is in fact ATF. That's nice. I think the cat's dead. I think that's all that clunkety. There's another drip just now. Here's some pretty hefty drips. She's still mostly full, so I think it's a newer... Oh, she died. Okay, well now you can hear me at least. Yeah. The puddle's ATF. The clunkety clunk I think is in the catalytic converter, but I don't dare to touch it to find out. And you probably heard up here the valve noise, but she's always had valve noise. Toyota's tick. We're just used to that. You might notice a lot of oil around that wasn't here when I left Idaho. We're not going to worry about that either. We're just going to keep driving because I don't have any other choice. Yes. I mean, the fluid's still mostly full. I'll have to probably start checking it every fuel stop or two. I guess I could check the engine oil now. Actually, I don't want to because then I'll feel the need to put some in. Never mind. Yeah, that's a quick fuel check. Other than that, though, I mean, like, the adapter's looking great in there. That's cool, I guess. Wowza, surprise. Okay, yeah, so, no more context. So, we skip ahead another, like, 2 days of driving and find ourselves, in my little Kentucky holler with my family up there, and spend a few hours there. On the way back, car starts running really poorly. We're all kind of thinking bad gas. It drove like shit for like 100 miles through all the back roads, and then you'll see here in a second I get on the highway after filling up with new fresh gas from a Murphy's, and it just comes right back to life and suddenly has more power than it's had the whole trip, and did amazing from there on to the way home. So that's about the end of the video there, but I'll just let you watch those little clips there. But yeah, after that final little upset that made me think I blew the rings out of it, I was thinking that I ruined something, like it was running that bad. Like I was doing maybe 10 mile an hour up some hills and it would barely gain speed, but then it just fixed itself in typical Toyota fashion. So, yep, there you go. Oh, we rolling now. Well, hello, y'all. You might have seen a couple of clips of the car very, very much struggling, and that is because she was. But I went on the highway. She was struggling for a second, then boom, it was fucking. I guess she ate some shit in the carburetor, and now she's just happy as a clam. But, yeah, so, I don't know, man. She's going now. She's happy. I'm doing 60. And she's actually climbing hills. I mean, shoot, I put my foot on the floor, I'm hitting 65, like. I'll take it. Alright, y'all, you joined me in the apparently very, very rainy state of Tennessee. It's storming. It stormed all night. And all of yesterday, and all of today. Oh, I guess this is a good opportunity to I'm still getting rained on in the car. The windshield seals are shot, which is something I've known. Just watched it drop. This is something I've known about, you know, for almost as long as I've owned the car. Here, let's even catch another drip. Yep. So, yeah, it's not necessarily a waterproof vehicle.
a waterproof vehicle, but the windshield will get resealed during all of my work. Letting the heater and everything run right now. I was really worried about it getting hydrolocked, so I pulled the air filter off, and of course, you know, I had that over it, but that only does so much. It was still soaked through the element, but I didn't look like it got any in the actual carburetor itself, so right now I'm just letting it run. Now, supposedly there's an umbrella in that car. That's my girlfriend's car here in Tennessee. We're not home yet. We're at her mom's house. So there's still about 5 more hours of driving to do before we finally make it home. But, well, me recording this video is really just me stalling because I don't want to go back out into that. I had to sprint out here. As you can see, it is really coming down. I don't want to go outside. But I suppose it is time for Jay to come into the out. So, yeah. Hooray. And that, my friends, is the end of the video. So you join me back in that '05 Corolla where I've spent the last, like, 3 hours editing and doing laundry. And that was Idaho and the trip back. I cut a lot out. And I didn't record a lot. And I really poorly explained a lot. But that was mostly because of how much of a rush job it was, just trying to get home. Like, recording was kind of a second thought in terms of just getting us out of Idaho. So, yeah, that was exhausting. That took a lot out of me. I'm still trying to financially recover a month later. But here we are. It's edited. I'm putting it together. I'm uploading it now. This is going to be out in like an hour after I finish recording this, because I really want to get this out for y'all. But I have a lot of fun things. The next video is actually not going to be on the Tercel. It's going to be on a motorcycle that I bought like 6 months ago. And I don't know how I'm going to start or end that yet. I burned it down. That's not going to be in the video, but I burned it down. Maybe I'll make a short about that. I don't know. But yeah, I burned that bike down. So that's going to be another video after it, where I fix the burned down bike. If I can hate myself. So, yeah. I'm ending this video. Y'all hate hearing my talk. I can tell that based on the view counts. So, yeah. But that's the end of the Poverty Tour saga. There's a lot of really fun things coming. Really fun things. So, I'll see y'all.